What next for Otiende Amollo? That's the question which most Kenyans are asking. Because we all know that the ODM party removed Otiende Amollo from the powerful JLAC Committee of Parliament. And the ODM party again issued a statement yesterday that they are not planning to remove James Orengo as the minority leader at the Senate. Now, this is the statement by ODM party. It's saying, following changes effected on Wednesday to the representation of the Orange Democratic Movement in Justice and Legal Affairs Committee of the National Assembly, there have been unfounded and widespread speculation that the party is about to change its minority leadership in the Senate. We wish to clarify that Honorable Raila Odinga, the ODM party leader, and the Orange Democratic Movement have no plans to replace Senator James Orengo. Now, if you've been following this channel, I opined on this channel that the fate of James Orengo in ODM party is actually sealed. Take it to the bank. The fate of James Orengo in ODM party is sealed. But the timing currently is wrong. ODM party cannot remove James Orengo at the moment because of 5 reasons. Before I go into what's next for Otiende Amollo. Number 1, James Orengo is more grounded, politically speaking, than Otiende Amollo. So removing James Orengo as the minority leader in the Senate is going to impact negatively to ODM party, unlike Otiende Amollo. And yesterday in one of my videos, I said clearly that Otiende Amollo has no impact in ODM party. Because in the first place, he was actually rigged in. The guy who won is called Neto Adola from that constituency. So Orengo is well grounded, cannot be easily kicked out. Number 2, the senators might not play balls. Remember, removal from the JLAC committee and removing Orengo from the minority leader is different. For Orengo to be removed, it means the ODM senators will have to sit down and agree. Probably they've agreed that it's not in the best interest to remove James Orengo as at now. Number 3, which is the biggest question, who can replace James Orengo as the minority leader after he replaced Moses Wetangula? If you look at ODM party, I don't see anybody. So probably the only guy who can replace him is Mutula Kilonzo Jr., who belongs to Wiper. Can ODM party sacrifice James Orengo and appoint Mutula Kilonzo in the name of NASA? I doubt that. Number 4, Orengo and Raila Odinga have a history. So as much as they have that history, and as much as they have that rivalry, they have a history that binds them together. So ultimately, it's normally very difficult for Raila Odinga to punish James Orengo, but it's easier for him to punish Otiende Amollo. And lastly, why Orengo is not going to go, Otiende Amollo was removed just to send a message to other members of parliament who are planning to join James Orengo in the rebellion. So James Orengo is going to stay put. But the truth of the matter is that Raila Odinga is using one of the 48 laws of power, which talks about timing. You must get the timing right. Right now is not the right moment to kick James Orengo out of the leadership. It's not the right moment because the laws are very bitter, especially over the 17 new constituencies. But what next for Otiende Amollo? We know Otiende Amollo has been one of the lawyers of Raila Odinga. He was sacrificed yesterday to send a statement. But what next for him? In my considered opinion, Otiende Amollo has only 5 options. I want us to look at those 5 options. But before you do that, if you're watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two and click the subscribe button. And to the subscribers, I want to continue. Thank you guys for your continued support. Back to the main issue. And before we go into that, Tanzanian President Samia Suluhu was in the country. The Deputy President William Samoei Ruto was missing in action. Do you think the Deputy President snapped that meeting? Or he was not invited to this particular meeting? I want to hear your thoughts on that, because that's going to be my next video. Now let us get back to Otiende Amollo. What are some of the options available to Otiende Amollo? The first option, which I'd advise him to take, is to make peace with Raila Odinga. That's the best option for Otiende Amollo. Because let's face it, without Raila Odinga, I don't think Otiende Amollo will win in Siaya, because he wants to be the senator for Siaya. And what about Rarieda? He has done so much for the people of Rarieda, both in parliament and on the ground. But the ground dynamics might actually change. The day President Uhuru Kenyatta will say that he's endorsing Raila Odinga, that's the day the entire Luo nation will rally behind Raila Odinga. In fact, the problems the Luos are currently facing is the fear that President Uhuru Kenyatta is playing Raila Odinga. Should President Uhuru Kenyatta make the dream of supporting Raila Odinga true, then all Luos are going to support Raila Odinga. And people like Otiende Amollo will be viewed as betrayers. So the first thing is Otiende Amollo should go to Rarieda, look for those men who Raila Odinga listens to. There are some just there, even in Nairobi, not necessarily politicians, and then make peace with Raila Odinga. After making peace with Raila Odinga, then Otiende Amollo must also learn one thing, that politics is totally different. In politics, loyalty is rewarded instantly. Disloyalty is punished. And Otieno Kajwang's, the late General Otieno Kajwang, the former senator, once stated clearly that loyalty, fidelity, and faithfulness are always the number one considerations in ODM party. That when they doubt you, then they'll give you problems. Whatever Otieno Kajwang said that time is still relevant today. So Otiende Amollo must make peace with Raila Odinga if he hopes to continue being a member of parliament. Number two, Otiende Amollo can resign as a member of parliament for Rarieda. But I would not advise him to go that route. It is alleged that after they attended the event in Migori or Nyatike, Raila Odinga called them and told them, can you come, we meet on Monday. Otiende Amollo then texted Raila Odinga that he's even willing to resign from the JLAC committee and even as a member of parliament for Rarieda. So Raila Odinga and the team then decided, okay, if you are willing to resign as a member of parliament or even as a JLAC, let us remove you first so that we see whether you can resign. So Otiende Amollo now has that opportunity to prove to Kenyans that indeed he can actually resign, follow the footsteps of Raila Odinga. And then after resigning, if he is popular, the people of Rarieda will elect him back to parliament. I don't know whether that's going to happen, but I will not advise him to go that direction. The third option, which I'd advise him to do, is to go underground. Otiende Amollo should now lie low. Otiende Amollo should go back to the constituency and concentrate in serving the people who elected him. Politics in a day in politics is a very long time. A lot of things are going to change. So probably by that time, Otiende Amollo should have found his way back at the center of the ODM party. So he must go underground. He must reduce the number of tweets he makes in a day. Otiende Amollo must reduce the number of funerals he attends, especially outside Rarieda. And if he has to attend funerals in Rarieda, Otiende Amollo must avoid making certain statements. So in my considered opinion, this is also an alternative, an option which Otiende Amollo can use. Otiende Amollo can decide, let me go underground, and things will take their course. Number 4, he can decide to sustain the rebellion. But can he sustain the rebellion? He can decide, the best thing for me now, let me rebel, be a rebel with a cause. Then join Okotobado in Migori. Then start traversing, specifically Nyanza, telling Nyanza people how they've been shortchanged, telling Nyanza people how he's been kicked out for fighting for them. Well, we know that might not be true, but Otiende Amollo can decide that I want to sustain this rebellion. The only challenge I'm seeing with Otiende Amollo is that James Orengo is not going to join him. He was supporting James Orengo in this. He was standing with James Orengo in this. Orengo is not going to support him. And the fact that Orengo is not going to support him is a big problem for him. If Orengo was going to support him, then probably Orengo would continue supporting him, continue talking whatever they were talking, continue with the rebellion. Orengo can even decide to resign as the minority leader in the Senate in solidarity with Otiende Amollo. Because I'm sure without James Orengo, Otiende Amollo would not have made those statements. So he can decide to sustain rebellion, which is, in my considered opinion, is not the right route for him. Number 5, which is my last point, is that Otiende Amollo can decide to join TANGATANGA. Because TANGATANGA are opposing the bill, he can decide to oppose it. And the moment, he can decide to join TANGATANGA. And the moment Otiende Amollo will join TANGATANGA, he's going to play a key role in TANGATANGA. He's going to displace everybody. The fact of the matter is that if Otiende Amollo were to join TANGATANGA today, he can even be nominated as the running mate to the Deputy President, William Ruto. He has name, is eloquent, he's appealing, he's inspiring, so he can decide to join TANGATANGA. But for local politics, joining TANGATANGA would be suicidal for Otiende Amollo. So I would not even encourage him to go that route. What other thing do you think Otiende Amollo can do? What are some of the options available for Otiende Amollo after he was removed he was removed from the Jailer Committee of the National Assembly? I want to hear your comments. I want to read your comments, and respond to each and every comment in the comment section. But I've also been thinking, what is James Orengo up to? What is James Orengo up to? When Miguna was kicked out, Orengo went to Nyando. When the issue of new constituencies came up, Orengo went to Nyatike. What is James Orengo's game plan? Anybody here can explain to me, because I'm unable really to understand James Orengo's game plan. Thank you guys, and please may you have a good day.